crazy weekend in college football, but we see that the voters still have a soft spot in their heart for the SEC. They always have. They probably always will. After you watched Georgia and Texas, tell me, with the eye test, did you think that one of the best teams in the country was there? Did you think the number one team in the country was playing in that game? Either team. You think that the team that threw 3 picks, or the team that couldn't figure out which starting quarterback to play, was one of the best teams in the country? 2 voters in the AP poll and 2 voters in the coaches poll decided that Georgia, the one-loss Georgia team that backed their way into the victory against Texas, whose only other quality win was against Clemson, who has beat nobody, in a neutral site game. Georgia and Clemson, a neutral site game in Atlanta, Georgia. They decided that that team was the best team. It goes back, doesn't matter how many teams you put in the playoff. It doesn't matter how many changes you want to make, how many computer polls you want to put in. At the end of the day, college football is built around the SEC. They are always going to get the benefit of the doubt. In every poll, they are always going to get the benefit of the doubt. There are 4 one-loss SEC teams in the top 10. Georgia, Texas. Georgia, we talked about their best win is against Clemson. Texas's best win is against Michigan, who Michigan is one of mid to low tier Big Ten teams, maybe against Oklahoma in a rivalry game. Oklahoma is a low tier SEC team. Tennessee, best victory against Alabama. Alabama does not look good. Alabama almost lost to South Carolina. South Carolina is one of the worst teams in the SEC. LSU lost to USC. USC is a bad team, undoubtedly. Coming from a Pac-12 to Big Ten fan. USC is a bad team, a flawed team. Or Ole Miss was their best victory. Ole Miss has not beat anybody. And there are 2 lost teams that somehow still ranked 18th in the country because they have the pleasure of being associated with the SEC. And they have the pleasure of having Lane Kiffin as a coach. It is a flawed system. It always will be. Like I said in my last video, we will see more when we get to those CFP polls. But I'm not holding my breath. And I hope, again, this is our first year that we're going to have 12 teams. And I hope that we get to see SEC versus Big Ten versus Big 12 matchups. Not all at home. We have these first round matchups. Let's see. Are they all at SEC home stadiums? Are they all going to be at SEC home stadiums? Or are we going to get, when Tennessee gets a first round matchup, are they going to be the 10th seed? Are they going to have to travel to Penn State? When BYU gets into the playoff, is LSU, is Alabama, is Texas going to have to travel to Provo and play there? Because you can be the best conference in the country when you have the money, you have the boosters, you have it all centered around you, and everyone's got to come play you. You can get those wins. But when you have to travel out west, when you have to travel up north, can you hold it together? And it's not a neutral site. Not a neutral site. We're getting home games. We get home games around the country. SEC teams have to travel out there. Will they still have that? Will they still have that power behind them? And if they don't, is it going to be considered a down year, or is it going to be considered, when you have to go to play them, it's not as easy. When they're not coming to you, when you have to go play them, not quite the same thing. I'm an Oregon fan. We've always had to go. Pac-12 teams. This is why the Pac-12 fell apart. We always had to go. We always had to go somewhere else and play them. They come out west. First time. Biggest game in Autzen Stadium history. Ohio State has to come out there. You can say whatever you want about Ohio State. The Ohio State-Oregon game, that was 2 elite teams playing. It wasn't mistake-ridden football that somebody had to end up winning. Because that's how football is. Because you have to end with a winner. It was a team going out there to win that game. Ohio State could have just as easily won that game. Whatever you want to talk about the end of that game, you could just as easily see Ohio State winning that game. But they had to go out and play Oregon at Oregon, and the tides turned. Let's see what happens when the SEC is in that situation. Again, a great week of college football. Ducks pull off yet another victory, slapping Purdue. I know Purdue's not much, but short week, going out and playing, traveling across the country, playing Purdue on a Friday night, handling business. These Ducks are for real. They should be unanimous number ones. If you think that one-loss Georgia is better than Oregon at this point, has a better resume than Oregon at this point, you deserve to get your vote taken away. We know where your allegiances lie. Thanks for watching that video. Trying to do some of these weekend reviews, whether it's college football or NFL, try to get you an additional video during the week where I don't have to put as much work into it, not write as much. Just going to have a feeling about something and turn the camera on and watch it. So let me know what you think below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on this one. Comments would be very much appreciated on this one. And if you did like it, we got more. Right over here, we've got our most recent video that we did about the college football playoff changes that are coming. Up here, we've got another college football video about Reggie Bush suing USC. And if you haven't already, right over there you can subscribe. Other than that, we'll catch you next time. See ya.